Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Caves of Cud, where today we're intentionally entombing ourselves. But it's okay, we've done this before, we're experts. I mean, as much as anybody is, I suppose. Okay, so my carry weight is way down. I'm gonna command my dude. Oh, I've lost sight of him. Okay. I'm going to command my dude to come over here, hand me back all my stuff. Then we're going to talk to Herodotocus, and we're going to see about trying to make this all happen pretty quickly. When I say all my stuff, really I just mean, like, I don't really need this. All we would do with this stuff is sell it, right? And I don't need it. The gigantic chem cell, in theory, probably has more juice in it than most chem cells do, but I don't know that for sure, and I don't necessarily have a great way. I guess we could measure it now that we have the visage and we have the fuel readouts. We could measure it with a little test. Yeah, but for the most part, I don't actually care if I lose these chem cells. I don't remember if our friend's going to be with us on the other side of the thing or not, so. It does say picking these up is going to put me over. Boy, that chem cell's heavy. Well, you know what? We have another nylon body pack back home. Somewhere. They're not that hard to get a hold of. Alright. Peace to all who canter in the house of the coiled lamb. Yeah, true story. Hey, how would I get to Brightsheol? The body remains, but the mind wanders. Well, I bear the mark, so entomb me. Should you be... Now, I don't rank myself among the dying, but, you know, my understanding is the dead do not speak. Well, I'm definitely not Reshef. Reshef is gone, biographer, but I am here, and I have need to travel to Brightsheol, so fucking let's rumble. That's not even how it works. First, image your head, read yourself's narrative from the folds of your brain, cross-check it against the thin world's ambient log of your life's deeds. Then I stylize the story, and I engrave it on the walls. Once I'm done, then you can entomb yourself. Okay, we'll do that then. Yeah, fine. Starting Tycho scan. Alright. And so we will just chill here. Narrative is compiled, now to engrave it. Peace. Peace to all who canter. Indeed. Go ahead and carve, my man. I would like to see your record of my life. What kind of sick stuff have I done? In a sacred ritual, Nutria Dampcrest shared their holy water with noted luminary elder Cries on Salt the Sage. That's true. That happened back in my first village. The storied eroticism of Nutria Dampcrest became intimately known to a snapjaw brute. Oh, hold on. I'm not saying that that's wrong. It isn't wrong. But of all of the things that my storied eroticism became known to, that was the one? That was the one you had to talk about? It's true, I did share my water with Barathrum, the legendary glowfish. I mean, listen, a snapjaw brute, you can't judge a book by its cover, etc. Nutria Dampcrest penned and sang a canticle for the irenic quill bears who live beneath the earth. Did I do that? I'm going to look up the word irenic real quick. That's not one that I'm familiar with. Favoring, conducive to, or operating toward peace, moderation, or conciliation. Huh. Yeah, just a word I've never heard of before. Sorry, I'm getting all lost looking at the etymology. In the month of Tebet Ux of 1001 AR, Nutria Dampcrest founded the village of Tuar to look after hoods. That's okay. Stylized, for sure. The hell is okay. While exploring Kirkwana, the surface, or Kukuna, the surface, Nutria Damcrest slept in the fabled contraption called the Hallowed Peptic Bed. That's true. That was one of the quests from my initial village. There was a magic peptic bed they wanted me to lay down in. The storied eroticism of Nutria Damcrest became intimately known to a Cragbench brainer. Again, true, but there are other ones that make me sound more impressive that you could have picked. A slumberling? Yeah, no, there was sometimes the bear. Listen, who can blame me? No one can subsist on twinks alone, all right? A schematics drafter? That happened. That happened a couple times. I mean, what can I say? He's good with his hands. After a climactic battle of wills, Nutria Damcrest slew Neshiramut no longer, Ptol's Harrier of the Lagoon. Yeah, can you carve some about how I'm fighting extra-dimensional adversaries all the time? The storied eroticism of Nutria Damcrest became intimately known to a tarred eyeless king crab. All right, okay. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's more correct than the thing about the village of Tuar. Yep, another one. Harrier and Bringer of Ironshank. And I think everyone can get behind the slaying of a Bringer of Ironshank, right? That seems like it's something we can all agree on. In the month of Niven Ut of 1002, Nutria Damcrest penned the influential book Urk Can Tell the Sky in Circles. Well, I'll tell you, nobody can prove that that's wrong. Same schematics drafter, by the way. Like I said, it happened a couple of times. I did slay the 10th Harrier. A fallen cherub gifted his broken wings to the traveler Nutria Damcrest. That's a way of describing the thing that happened with those wings. I like this version of my life story. On the auspicious 7th of Tishru-i-Ux, Nutria Damcrest arrived in Shabal and began their prodigious odyssey through Cud. True story. And there you can actually see so, you know, I said that the graphics, the art for the things doesn't necessarily reflect the subject matter, but in this one you can see the sarcophagus and like the people kneeling around it. So I guess that's not really true. On the 1st of Ubu'ut, Nutria Damcrest died peacefully and was laid to rest in the Tomb of Sultans. Okay. Time to entomb myself. Hold on. Do you have anything else important to say? Hop into the sarcophagus. Safe travels. Indeed. It's easy. It's easy. It's easy. You just enter it. Are you sure you want to enter this sarcophagus? The thing is, we know full well what's going to happen. And yet every step of it feels nerve-wracking to me. Entombed in the burial chamber of Reshef, the last sultan. And this is only one step on our incredible journey. Look at all those points, yo. 314,000. Is that a lot? I don't even know. And here we get our sick ASCII art. Right before the fancy table of contents. I didn't even want to read a game fact if it didn't have one of those fancy table of contents with the jump codes in it. What are you wasting my time with your poorly formatted garbage for? I don't know if this is relatable to anybody who is watching this. The darkness recedes, and a new light breaks on the shores of your mind. Okay, this is an incredibly beautiful segment. We're going to really speed through it here. Yes, from thine hairs shaken the wet and old life, into a small vessel pour in it, to thine sash attach in the vessel, crossing now through the height gate and into Brightsheol. Yeah, actually, I can't really do that. I've come from the thick world with a mission to disable the spindle's magnetic field. Can you help me out here a little bit? The Shorum Conan. Why ought we? Well, I mean, I am a sad after all. The clothes shrouding Rainwater Shomer's form are still for many moments. The Shomer remain unbileful. Okay, sorry, why do you call me Assad? Salum, is that another name for Cud? We have to gather a couple pieces of information before we can convince him, right? Am I dead? Where is Brightsheol in relation to Cud, to Salum? Aloft of Yaus a sight twinkling, and there the seraph German, and Brightsheol is the Drim. Why do you call me Sad? Art thou Sad of old Salum, and now stunned and thou at the high gates to Brightsheol. And what is this place? Is Reshef here? No, Sad, Reshef reside in here. Yeah, no, somehow Reshef is still around somewhere, and that's a problem we're going to resolve, maybe eventually. So here's the thing. Something has changed atop the spindle. If Brightsheol is indeed connected to the city there, this change may suggest it's in peril. Okay, look, 1 year ago, someone began broadcasting a signal from atop the spindle. I have a recording of it here. I ask you, disable the magnetic field so the spindle can be ascended and the signal investigated. We have to do IT work on Heaven to make sure that it doesn't accidentally get turned off. Sad, the Sparrow Sprechen. Sad, thou Uskin, and the Shomrim Ascenten. All right. No, friend. You gotta send me back. There's too much to be done. I'm ready. This is such a fucking cool thing to happen in the middle of the story. All right, so I think we are going to have the same problem that we had before, with the opening the recoming nook, causing the robot outside to immediately go nuts. So let's be a little bit smart about this. We do have force bubble this time, which is obviously going to help. The neoteric body is differently charged. Tying inside you is another of the secret knots that bind the world, which is to say, you gain an additional floating nearby slot. The vessel of the first sip, because of course we have dried out terribly. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to open the recoming reliquary. We're going to grab our luminous hood. Oh wait, well the luminous hood though... What is my plan for dealing with this robot? Because they reflect light attacks, don't they? I don't necessarily want to just melt the whole situation, but gosh, maybe that's what we're doing. I mean, obviously my initial plan here is to force bubble. But I don't want to melt the chest with all my stuff in it. Although, you know, the corrosive gas has never done damage to an item, as far as I have seen. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that's more important for us to get than the luminous hood. So let's put on my hat. Hold on. Okay. No door opening. Can I take all? Okay. Let's equip some stuff. Gonna put on our visage. We're gonna put on our hover sled, which is very important. We get to put on a quantum mote or the boy of Wed. What is hold on, what does the boy of Wed do again? So this is heat resistance +1 to saves, armor and dodge. It's just like a generically good item. The robot outside did not go nuts and try to kill us immediately, which I appreciate. This is okay, yeah, not necessary. Alright, in our right hand, a crysteel longsword. Upon our body, Upon our body, the mate's loosened breast. On our left arm, I think a compass bracelet, just for making it easier to get around. Of course, Uho, legendary Uho. Our spiked steel gauntlets, which we've been wearing for all of forever. This thing, we need to put a cell in there. I didn't remember it needing power. Did we not have a radio-powered cell for this? Well, okay, let me, hold on. Before I do that. Radio power the gigantic cell? Okay, it has exactly twice the energy capacity. Alright, well, just radio power a random chem cell. Okay. There we go, that's good. We have some very basic gear, actually, in a lot of ways. I have a high voltage arc winder, which is maybe something to think about, but again, like, I'm worried about... I don't exactly understand how those things work, and so, you know, I'm always very nervous about kickback damage, just the arc. May as well collect this liquid. Let's take my hand. Let's take my old... So this hand is from my old body. That's kind of a weird, interesting thing. And this time there simply wasn't a Crypt Guardian. That's weird, right? Should not there be a Crypt Guardian? Is that not a thing that I deserve? Okay, we got a radio-powered nuclear cell in there. I think beyond that, all my stuff is radio-powered proper cells. Okay, well, I guess just it's just back to Gritgate for us then. And I don't see any particular reason to walk. It seems that we have, in fact, lost our buddy, though. Well, I have some weird news for you, friend. I've returned. You appear refreshed. My old eyes spy the swim lines of the waking world, and to you they cede precedence. A newness obtains. Yeah, outside of time I found myself in a place of light. I chose to return and was made new. This is my storied eroticism coming out here. I am confident there is a richness of wisdom in the poetry of that statement. One day I will be eager to discover it. For now, what about the thing that you were actually supposed to be doing? Yeah, no, I did it. I turned off the thing. All right, you know what time it is. I am raised to Maven, the one who understands. Okay, a shoot of morphing gel from my personal collection. Okay, so we got some metamorphic polygel. I have thoughts about this. Okay, matters have evolved. I do wish to learn more. High on the mount above open porch, the Putis Templar watch us through their war lenses and prepare an attack. The Nephilim too stir from their cradles on the moon stair and slump with infernal purpose. The short of this is, due to a dearth of prep time and inadequate armament, Pax Clank no longer believes in the viability of Q-Girl's climber design. We must take Clank at its word here. And, yeah, it's time for cool robots. It's time for massive robot. We need to procure sanguine fluid itself, power source shielded from electromagnetic attacks. I'm just going to press all the buttons here, but we know what the deal is. Let us begin then. Alright, last task before we make our historic climb. Be safe and well in doing it. Okay, so we have a Zetachrome weapon already. Huh. It's just, okay, another settlement. And we'll totally go check that out. Hey, Pax Clank. Sorry, I want to look at this. So, we need to get a friend. We need to put a catalyst in it. Some interesting options here. 3 grams of honey is certainly not like a terrible idea. What did we do last time? Like gel, right? Just for a bunch of AV. I will say, putting in a bunch of toughness enhancing stuff didn't really make it survive very long, but you know, the real lesson that we learned last time was don't get into melee with a star kraken. So that might be the core issue with what happened last time, is that I got into melee with a star kraken. I do think understanding that we're not going to be able to necessarily pull back to a repairing space during the like siege attack thing, I do think that causes me to value regeneration a little bit more highly. But okay, so we're gonna need to go get a friend. Oh, this is cool. So I can pick one of my mutations to give it because I can use my own hand. My hand from my old body. That feels incredibly appropriate. So that's what we'll do with that. Every long blade skill seems fine. Yeah, there's this stuff. Some of these give 3 random body parts. Well, now that's interesting. But I was gonna say, isn't there stuff in here that gives regeneration? Maybe not. And again, I do wish that these were sorted a little bit better. 3 random body parts is interesting. Plus 5 quickness, plus 20% HP, and plus 3 attributes. Plus 3 to all attributes for nearby followers. For visiting the village of Tuar. Why is this village being treated as though it is so special? Actually, I have a thought on that. So we did see last time, as much as it is like a cool idea to spawn with a bunch of gear for your golem that is usually very difficult to gear, we now know that it can end up being like a couple of pieces for the same slot. Like it's not nearly as good as I had initially thought it might be. So I don't know. We'll see about that. There's a lot of ogling me lovingly, which gives quickness. You know, I do. Spawns with 3 random beetle rewards. Oh, that's kind of cool. Unfortunately, random beetle rewards, like, that could absolutely just be weapons, and they might not be things that are usable by the golem itself. 10% chance to score crits. That's, you know, it's fine. There's lots of things to give that. Okay, so we'll figure that out. The Hamsa is just anything to draw a inspiration from. 25% reduction in the action cost of missile actions. That's kind of neat. Our old drone didn't have a missile weapon, did it? Ooh. The Time Worn Chow gives regeneration at level 10. That's interesting. So, yeah, we have some interesting options here. But this is going to be the problem. The Ascension power source is something we are still going to have to put together the old-fashioned way. Tell me about the power source. Yep, purple prickles make neutron cell with 3 flux drams, or do the other thing. Alright. So, we've been waiting for some metamorphic polygel to show up, or at least I have been. Now we've got some, and I want to try to make something cool happen with it. Where are you going? Stop running from me. So here's what I'm thinking. I want to give it to someone and then clone them with our cloning draft and see if that allows us to copy it because if that works, then we can like get a follower, give them 1 dram of cloning draft and the metamorphic polygel, clone them, and they'll have, right, like, that theoretically gives us an infinite amount of metamorphic polygel, which then we turn into an awful lot of this other stuff, and we just gain stats to the heavens, right? The time-worn chow of the 4 of Sash. My suspicion is we're going to find out that it doesn't work that way, because that seems like I guess, I don't know. I was going to say that seems like too easy of a way to break the game, but I guess it's not really like... It's not totally trivial. It's not like these are common items. If that doesn't work, I don't know. Maybe we'll think of something else, but for right now, let me just have a quick chat with people, see if there's anything else we want to buy around here. The high energy thermo cask is kind of a neat idea, but I think I'm probably not going to bother with it. Hortensia, Neek. I don't know. We don't need to try to trade with anybody else here. This is not the place where the coolest stuff is. So, what we need really at this moment is just to... Oh, do I really have 2 polyhedral rings? Huh. What I need really at this point is just to grab a friend and test stuff on them, right? And we have precog, so we can afford to like play with our expensive chemicals in a way that doesn't fuck us up. So let's, one thing I definitely want to do before we do anything else is jump over to the freehold and see about what's on the merchants there. They got rusted somehow. I don't know. That was, it was a 3. Maybe that wasn't worth it because I could have just walked here and bought another one, right? But whatever. Too late. I did it now. Okay. Bep has restocked. Bep, my friend. Do you have things I care about? One thing I'm not at all sure of is whether or not you can get gigantic as an item mod. Can you learn to make gigantic things? And if you can't, whether our crafty thingy might, or our special crafting mask might allow for such a thing to happen. In any case, one thing that we are doing for sure here is we're gonna precog just in case this goes horribly awry in some way, although I am not expecting it to. We're going to beguile this creature. We are going to engage in borrowing. There's going to be some borrowing. Actually, give me all of this stuff, please, if you wouldn't mind. These, I'm not sure if I'm going to use them, but if I'm not, I'll take them apart. Can you actually just give me your whole situation right now? Thanks. Let me crack all that shit apart. So of course my plan was to learn the data disk for the long range grappling gun, but honestly, like, oh right, I don't have Tinker 3. What am I thinking? Well, we'll learn what we can. Okay. And I guess we'll just hold this one. But now that we know what this disc does as an inspiring item, I kind of think if we can pick up something, if we can get a golem that has a ranged attack, that seems very useful, right? All right, these 9-fold boots. Accelerative teleporter. The path is contracted. So these boots have a teleport built into them. I have my own teleport, and I kind of like the combat stats on my boots a little bit, and there's like better boots in the world for sure. So I think I am just gonna rip these apart. I also bought these, or borrowed these to take them apart. Listen, I'm out here trying to save the world. It should actually be fairly common for people to just be like, yeah, here, please take all of the things that I own. These things are your things now because I want you to save the world, please. You know? You know, we've all had this thought. The things I think, very normal and common. Yeah, direct to stay here. You're good, buddy. I mean, I could just... No, don't do that. I could just test here, though, right? Like, what if I just... Yeah, let me wait for, I don't know, 283 or so turns. Okay. Start vision. We're going to hand you the metamorphic polygel and 1 draft of cloning liquid. Cloning draft. Here, these are yours. Please don't lose them. And then I'm going to pour nearby. Okay. A grotesque protuberance swells from Bep's back as he begins to bud. He's budding. I kind of thought it would just happen immediately. I'm passing time in case it's not clear. Okay. A clone of Bep detaches from bloody Bep, and indeed, there is so much blood everywhere. He just sprayed blood kind of all over the place. Hey there, clone of Bep. Bep? He seems like Bep. He has no inventory. Yeah, no, he has no inventory. Okay, so that doesn't work. I'm going to hit end vision, go back to the start. Okay, that's very disappointing. So we can't use that. That is something I had really been hoping for the entirety of the like basically since we found the cloning draft and this thing, which was I think before I even brought this character, live to the show. Yeah, that's a bummer. Okay, so I mean we can just duplicate it directly with the metamorphic polygel, and then we can and we just we can do like we were doing with the other with the thing on the other character. Just every time we find one, metamorphic polygel, etc. I'm disappointed. It feels like I should be able to break things here, and I'm just not 100% sure how to do it. I do wonder if I did clone Bep, would there be two... Would the clone also get like an inventory refresh every so often? Because if so, what we could do... If I was going to test that, though, I'd want to test that on a merchant that I knew could stock polygel. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, when we saw polygel on Krobelnombus, it was always on just like the Dromad merchants in high level places, right? It was just random merchants. It wasn't other. So maybe we just hold on to all this for the moment. Also, should I be using this geomagnetic disc? I'm gonna equip it. Maybe this is worth Maybe this is worth using. Although if we're going to use it, obviously we're going to radio power its cell. Okay, replace. All right, I'm trying to think. What else do we need to do? I suppose while we're here, it makes sense to go and check out the merchant up here. I think that puddle of molten wax was me when I had wax flab briefly. Ooh, flawless crystal boots and gauntlets. These would definitely be worthwhile upgrades. That's just better stuff for us. Also, more metamorphic cores. Also, you don't honestly like. I have used a fair number of salve injectors. Might be well worth it to grab those. Okay, so once again, just for safety's sake, let's precog before we beguile, because it does say when you fail it that it enrages people. Star vision. Make this plant really want to do me. And then I'll be borrowing from you this and this. Yeah, give me these probably. Not quite the weapons I would like. And I could just like lift a whole bunch of fresh water, but it doesn't really feel necessary. I mean, I guess we're a little short. Shit's heavy, though. Yeah, I'll do this. Okay, thank you, darling. Please do not go anywhere. Okay, we haven't actually upgraded our our armor and stuff in quite a while, aside from picking up artifacts that we're replacing marginally worse artifacts. So this actually feels really nice. I think in both cases we gained 2 AV and lost a 1 DV penalty. So it's just like huge upgrades. We're still actually wearing just a +1 willpower nano weave vest. In theory, we should get some real armor at some point. But I don't know. I guess we're doing okay by it. And now we have 16 AV with 5 DV. So we're not invincible, but we're tough as hell. For sure. Okay, so I guess the thing to do at this point is to start the journey. No, I'm good. To start the journey to the tree, right? We do have a historical site just inside the moon stair. Well, let's poke our head in there. Let's see what that's like. So okay, this is where we're gonna have to start traveling up close. Now we have proselytize and beguile. What are you? You are just a purple gel. I do not wish to deal with you. Okay, I also don't wish to deal with that. One of those things. Alright, force bubble ready just in case. Okay. Alright, so we're now in the east screen of this. Hi. Do you want to come along? Do you want a party, friend? This feels like a beguile, because proselytize can affect things that don't have minds. What do you got? Kind of nothing. I mean, you got what you're equipped with. Rocket skates and a stinger. Weird. Welcome to the team, I guess. Alright, wait. So... I'm in the northeast tile of this now. So if we go exactly out the northeast corner of this tile, I do not wish to party there, bloated pearl frog. Oh. A fight has begun. An ogre ape is having at me for some reason. Ogre apes usually kind of chill. I'm gonna fly. And then try to just kill it with brain lasers. Okay, stinger work's getting done. I have been bonded. Oh no, sorry, the clip-off has begun to drain life from the ogre ape. Okay. Wow, the clip-off actually seems like quite a good ally. Oh, fell out of the sky. Wings, not so good. There's a tartbeard to the southwest. I didn't see it, I just saw the cone. Alright, we can probably just shoot this thing to death. Awful lot of enemies trying to coat me with acidic gases. Not really understanding the deal. Alright. Throwing weapon. You commit the distinguishing characteristics of the geomagnetic disc to memory. The tartbeard takes 7 damage from your geomagnetic disc. What? What was that about the characteristics? What now? I'm gonna just put myself in flying mode here again, and we're gonna just like rain lasers down. I'm not killing the tartbeards for the most part. They're running away, to be clear. Here comes my pal, the clip-off. Oh, we got an elder tartbeard who might be... So I did my proselytize, right? You're beguiled. Does proselytize work on you? Proselytize does work on you. Okay, so now we got ourselves a little squad going. This thing has 10 HP left. Oh my god, there's so many of these little fuckers. They are going to eventually melt my clip-off. They don't create, like, super damaging acid clouds, it seems like. But I'm sure it's annoying. And for the moment, the wings are holding. They're keeping us pretty safe here. The visual of it, if you imagine what's happening, us just sort of like floating above the cloud of acidic smoke in the jungle, raining lasers down into it while our elder tartbeard continues to basically just be a dragon, just fight like a black dragon, and our clip-off grabs onto the minds of our enemies, and it's very cool. It's a very cool thing that is occurring. I did fall out of the sky eventually, which makes it somewhat less cool. Okay, hopefully we have melted all of the enemies. Nope, there's another one. I saw him. I mean, it's not really penetrating my armor. And I know we don't have the best weapon in the universe, but it's not horrible. Alright, so we're still taking attacks from something. Oh, there it is. I see it. Try to get an open shot on it. Yeah, we kind of got good at sword fighting a little bit at some point. It's weird. Alright, so this should put us on the bottom leftmost tile of the parasang that historical site is in. And now it's just a matter of finding our way to it. And it's probably in the... we don't know that it's in the center. It doesn't have to be in the center. I will say this area is a lot less... It feels a lot less safe to navigate when we don't have advanced senses, right? Alright, so this will be the center of the parasang. And indeed, it is Kadep. We got some Unimaxes. They're like an Aquamax, but more so. Well, I think I'm going to turn on my corrosive gas after I turn on my wings. First fly. Now I am the dragon. Me and the Tartbeard will do this, and good luck to the Clip-Off, I suppose. We're all rooting for you, buddy. Find a way to live through it. Unimaxes have a lot of HP. Okay, I am destroying crystals, I think. They'd be a little more careful about that. But yeah, between the lot of us, we're doing reasonable damage. So a shot from the energy bolt, 5 damage, single penetration. Throw my disc. So the thing about the disc is it goes flying off into the distance, and I feel like I don't have good control over what it's doing. It did only take 3 damage. So again, like, you have this thing, right, where it's... I don't know if you're going to see multiple penetrations occur. I think we're just getting the flat 2d6 with the weird armor penetration mechanics. Yep. It's been a little while since we've seen that message. A mirror bug crawls out of the mirror. Oh no. These things just, like, they completely reflect all damage, right? You're proselytized. So we can try beguiling it. That works. That's a quantum rippler, so there's going to be a portal here. Whoa. Did y'all see a... What happened there? Thought I saw a kraken for a second. But then the mirror bug did something, and now things are fucked. Now everything is bad. Okay, Will Sap is friendly. Oh, that thing there is a hostile mirror. That's a salt kraken, and it's indicating that it intends to harm me, I believe. I'm going to execute a jump. Can't jump, currently flying. Okay, Mirrorbug was consumed whole by a salt kraken, a member of the Buppeterian family. Okay, so this thing's just feasting. And it is part of the, like, it's part of the, so there's going to be more of them. This is part of the spawn pool of this cult. So what we're going to do here is we're going to back away. What we're going to do here is we're going to enable sprint. And we're going to back away a little bit more effectively. We're going to force bubble. And then we're going to teleport the fuck out of here. Because I am not fighting a cult that is partially made up of salt krakens. That's just not a thing that's happening. Criminy. Can you imagine a better way to get murdered? Okay. The Elder Tartbeard also killed by the Salt Kraken. Now, I did notice that the Salt Kraken was only rated very tough and not impossible. So that's something. I can't imagine... Yeah. Oh, right. There is a Dromade caravan here. That's right. In this part. I should go and say howdy to them. Where is the Dromad trader? Okay, there he is. Do you have anything fun? You have one of those tacos. So, not really. Not really, unfortunately. Okay. Then I think we are probably going to just try to find the Tree City then, because that holy site, that historical site may as well just not exist from my perspective. You know what? Honestly, I'm gonna just call it here. I died today. It's been a full one, so I'm gonna take the win and just relax a little bit. I'm feeling tough. I'm feeling capable, but the spirit's a little weak at the moment. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, we begin our search for Chava, the Tree of Life, and the frustrating things that we're going to have to do to secure a power source for our golem. And then, honestly, like, once we get that done, we're pretty much ready to go. I guess I have to find I have to figure out what body shape I want it to have. Something with a built-in ranged attack might be wise, because we don't know if we'll be able to find a ranged weapon. I'll give it some thought. So yeah, come back next time for that. Work towards the golem, and we'll see you then.